Made a lot of films, okay? We've been here making movies since 1915. It's a lot of time to make a movie that you particularly loved. We love all these movies, though. It all started back in 1915 with our founder, Carl Laemmle. Carl was originally a German immigrant. He moved to America in 1884 and he became obsessed with the art of motion picture. So much so that he wanted to create his own content. So in 1912, he started the Universal Film Manufacturing Company, which would later be known as Universal Studios. And he moved to LA in 1914, bought up this plot of land, and set about creating a one-stop shop for movie making, an entire city devoted to the craft of film. That's what he made, a city. This is not Hollywood or Studio City or Burbank. No, we're in Universal City right now, our very own filmmaking city. To the right is proof of our citydom. This is our city fire station right here, Fire Station 51. It's a real fire station. It has to be, because to be a real city as we are, you gotta have a few things that all cities must have. So you gotta have a fire station, you gotta have a sheriff's station, a zip code, and at least one Starbucks coffee. You have to have one. So we have everything a city requires. The only thing we're missing, residents. No one lives here. Instead, we have artists that come together every day to bring you guys your favorite TV shows and movies. Now, where do we film the shows and movies? Well, most of that happens in these great big buildings we call sound stages. We have 36 of them here on the lot, but the first one you'll get to see is our largest and our oldest. It's Stage 12 off to the left-hand side here. Stage 12 was built back in 1928 for the movie musical Broadway, and since then it's where some of the most memorable moments in filmmaking history have been brought to life. All these scenes were filmed right there in Stage 12. See, our sound stages start empty. It's up to the production teams that rent the space to fill it out with whatever environment, whatever set their film or show requires. Like the sets of Whoville, which were in Stage 12, as well as 10 other of our sound stages. They were filming this in 1999, took up almost all of our lot, and carved the sets of Whoville out of styrofoam, making this now Christmas classic. So our sound stages start empty. We'll show you what that looks like here on your screens. Yeah. And our set builders on the lot. A lot of famous sitcoms have filmed in these stages over the years. Different Strokes, The Jeffersons, Who's the Boss, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Coach, all done here. 16 and 17 were recently home to the 5-Star Weekend with Jennifer Gardner, which is a best-selling novel that they turned into a show right here on the lot. Right next door, Stage 18, that's where they filmed scenes from our Best Picture winner last year, Oppenheimer with Cillian Murphy. And Stage 18 and 19 recently where they were working on Hacks. And if you look to the left-hand side, you'll actually see Base Camp for Hacks, which is basically where they park all the trailers. The costume trailer, the hair and makeup trailer, the actors trailers right out here. Oh, our first celebrity sighting, what a treat. It's Ted up here to the left-hand side. Hey buddy, drinking a generic beer, delicious. It's got great taste, that Ted. See you later, Ted. Ted films right here on the lot as well, his TV series, prequel series to the movies. To the left-hand side, you're seeing these little Ted-colored buildings. These are our bungalows. They're offices for writers, directors, producers here in the biz. We're home to Mark Platt Productions these days. They brought you Wicked and Wicked for Good with Cynthia Erivo and Archia out of our city, away from the concrete jungle, so we can go to the real jungle of Skull Island.
It's the original King Kong that made me want to direct movies. I saw that movie on TV when I was around 8 or 9 years old. And I thought I had to become a filmmaker. I like films that just take you away from your real life and sweep you up an adventure. Kong literally does that. I mean, you're on board the ship, you're sailing to a lost island, you encounter monsters and creatures from, prehistoric times. So I was thrilled when Universal invited me back to Skull Island. And it's great to have you along for the ride. Don't put them on yet, just have them in your hand because we're about to return to Skull Island.
All right, thrill seekers, stay seated, keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all. That used to inhabit that water, the gill man from Creature from the Black Lagoon. Yeah, he used to live here too, but he didn't look as cute eating breadcrumbs out of our hands, that's for sure. He's very scary. His design was done by an artist named Millicent Patrick. She was originally a Disney artist. She moved to Universal, became one of the first women ever added to a special effects makeup team in the industry, cementing her legacy forever with this famous design. Now this is just one of our many monster movies, Creature from the Black Lagoon, but we're famous for those classic monster films that we mostly made back in the 30s and 40s, like Frankenstein and Dracula, The Wolfman, The Invisible Man, Bride of Frankenstein. All these classics were made right here at Universal in this village on the right-hand side. This is Little Europe, and we're gonna go there, but I gotta warn you, if you're a scary movie fan or a monster movie fan, well, unfortunately, Little Europe is not much of a scary place nowadays. Now, it's more of a good place. From the Good Place. Welcome to the Good Place, y'all. You made it.
You, Eleanor Shellstrom, are dead.
Cool.
This location, the afterlife.
Ồ, thì cái này cái thơ thử với nó con.
This, you're in the good place.
I'm not supposed to be here. I can't risk going to the bad place.
Maybe it's not all that bad.
How can I help you?
What is the bad place like?
Well, it doesn't sound awesome.
No, that sounds pretty bad, but this place is awesome, and it's great at being good places or bad places. It all really depends on how we decorate it. Right now, we still got some flowers in the windows, some bright colors on the walls, so it very much resembles the Good Place, and it reminds me of other fantasy locations we've created here. This has been Cinderella's Kingdom in Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella, starring the best Cinderella ever, Brandy. It's also been the fictional kingdom of Genovia, and Disney's Princess Diaries 2, a royal engagement with Chris Pine and Hathaway, a millennial classic. But it's not all just a fantasy here in Little Europe. We call it Little Europe because it's great at playing real places in Europe. It was Paris, France in 1923 for The Hunchback of Notre Dame, Germany and All Quiet on the Western Front back in 1930, Spain and City Slickers of Billy Crystal when they did the Running of the Bulls scene. They're even adding some to our little village here for an upcoming production, very much Spanish architecture as well. So we'll see what that turns into. We're loving all the added construction on our lot right now, folks. I've been here for almost 10 years. I have never seen them adding so much to our sets since being here, starting back in 2016. So pretty cool to see the lot so active these days. All right, folks, we're gonna go into a soundstage here, but just to let you know, we're about halfway through the tour. Reminder to stay seated. The studio is private property. If you drop your phone or you just can't wait to use the restroom, pull the cord, but do remain seated on the tram. Especially as we enter this building here, folks. This is the stage that we've equipped to be able to drive our trams through. We love to show our guests an empty soundstage when possible, but this soundstage is not empty, not at all. We actually have permission from the production that's been using this space to see their hot set while they're gone for the holidays, and we even left on some lights so that you guys could see what a hot set really looks like for a day of filming, so it's pretty cool. Now, I can't tell you much about this production either. It's another one of our top secret productions. I can tell you it takes place in San Francisco, and that's because to the right there's a sign that says "Welcome to San Francisco." That's what I'm using to guess. Right? We got some context clues. Wow, I think we're having a little earthquake. Stacy, hold on. Wow, these things typically pass very quickly. Okay, there's no need to panic. I repeat, there is no need to panic. Wait, what's that? Oh no, the roof just caved in. Everyone panic. I said everyone panic. There we go, there we go. Okay, good. incredible. Thank you so much. Very natural.
Wow.
So that was Earthquake, the big one. Move on to something else soon. But when we first opened, it was Westerns. The 30s and 40s, it was monsters. But in the 70s, disasters. Earthquake, Airport, we made here at Universal. And a little movie in 1975 that would become the biggest disaster movie of all time. Launched the career of one of our favorite directors and terrify audiences for generations to come. It's, of course, Jaws, directed by Steven Spielberg. Let's go to Amity Island. Now, don't worry about the shark thing, okay? We caught a shark this morning. The water should be clear and free of predators. No problem. And just in case we had any trouble, we do have a friend here from the police team doing a dive to make sure the waters are clear. It's Officer George. Stay seated, hold on to your stuff, and let's check in with Officer George right now. Okay, we got a shark in the water, but George is going to take care of it, okay? He was trained to deal with sharks like this. Officer George is the best and bravest officer on the entire force. Officer George was the best and bravest officer on the force, and may he rest in peace. Wait, what's going on out there? Oh, we put some bait on that yellow barrel. It looks like the shark has taken the bait. That's good. Oh no! Oh, so scary. You guys okay? Is everyone here and accounted for? Yes. Anybody missing? Raise your hand if you're missing. Only if you're missing. Okay, found you guys in the fourth car. You're all found and safe. Whew, what a relief. Let's get out of here. That's our mechanical shark, Bruce, modeled and nicknamed after the original shark from Jaws. And don't worry about George, kids. George is going to pop back up and die again in 30 seconds. That's what he does all day long. He's very comfortable with that, I promise. Both George and Bruce are what we consider special effects, which are live effects that happen right there on set, as opposed to visual effects, which is what we saw in King Kong, the computer-generated effects, right? We're going to show you some more special effects right now as we pull on down into old Mexico. This is where we're going to show you how we might whip up some weather for a scene, which we love to do, because we love to add rain to a scene. Think about it. Rain increases the emotion, the tension, the drama of whatever scene it's used in. Sad scenes get sadder in the rain. Scary scenes get scarier in the rain. Even romance scenes somehow get more romantic in the rain. I don't know why it works, but I've seen The Notebook, so I know it does. It works very well. Pride and Prejudice, rain is great for romance. So we're going to add some drama to our tour right now by adding some rain. You guys ready? Okay. And action. Yes. This is exactly how we would do it for the movies. We're using a very complicated, very intricate system here. It's called a sprinkler. If you've heard of it. Shoots the water out and up. That way it falls back down as naturally as possible. And now we have a storm. If we were filming this rain, we would need better lighting. If you don't light rain correctly, it could just make your picture blurry. The trick is to actually backlight it from a slight angle, then it usually shows up nice and crispy on screen. You're not just hearing rain, you're also hearing sizzling bacon, a sound effect often added to rain to make it... What was that? Oh, no. Cut the water, we got way too much rain. It's a flash flood! No, not up here, I'm up here. Oh, no! Okay, we're good. I stayed dry. How'd you do? Pretty good? Yeah, good. You did better than Paul Giamatti and Big Fat Liar, that's for sure. Yeah, we'll see about that. Yeah, Paul takes on our flood and fails miserably. But you know who hung in a lot better? Lady Gaga. She stood in that same flood in a full-length gown for her music video for Judas. Refused to use a stunt person. She's very brave, that Gaga. Now, a lot of brave scenes have happened here in the dry part of Old Mexico. Scenes from Disney's Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl, and Paramount's Nacho Libre with Jack Black, the bravest luchador. But if you're looking for the true home of the brave here at Universal, well, look no further than right here in the Wild Wild West. Welcome to 6 Points, y'all. This is where we created some of the greatest westerns of all time with some of your favorite cowboys, like Destry Rides Again with Jimmy Stewart and Miss Marlena Dietrich, or My Little Chickadee with Mae West and W.C. Fields. Added a couple of new favorite cowboys to the roster back in 2018 when they were here filming for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Quentin Tarantino's latest, with Brad Pitt and Leo DiCaprio. A couple of no-name actors you probably never heard of, but they're pretty good. They're pretty good. Now, these are our oldest sets in the lot. When we first opened, we were making a ton of silent westerns, made over 200 in our first year of filmmaking right here on this set. But it used to be a bigger set. We have one western street now. We used to have 6 full western streets, and each street could support its own western movie. So we could make 6 westerns at the same time on the same set. Why? Because they were silent. Nowadays, with sound, we gotta spread out productions to keep everybody quiet, or better yet, put them in sound stages to get that good audio. But back then there was no audio. You could make as much noise on set as you wanted, so it allowed us to make a lot of movies in the same area. It also allowed us to invite guests onto the lot. Our founder, Carl Laemmle, had a passion for showing people how movies were made, so he opened the studio in 1915 to the public. You could pay a quarter to come onto the lot, watch him film a western live in person. You could even cheer on your favorite cowboys because there was no sound. But in the late 1920s, when we made the talkies, movies with sound, we had to kick everybody off the lot. And it wasn't until the 60s, when we started this tour, that we were able to bring people back behind the scenes. And ever since, we've been adding fun attractions to entertain our guests, like our Flash Flood, added in 1968, and Jaws, added in 1976 with the help of our friend Steven Spielberg.
The Jaws ride was almost the inevitable result of the size of the box office when Jaws first opened in June of 1975. And that was really the first time I ever got involved in the creation of a ride. It was a great honor to be invited into a creative circle of tremendous designers at Universal that were trying to figure out how to replicate what the movie had done to audiences in a real way by building a physical shark that would come out of the water and terrify tourists as they were sitting in the tram.
All right, I'm tired of terrifying the tourists. Let's go somewhere more comfortable. Welcome home to our residential section of the lot, our slice of suburbia. Off to the left-hand side, you see that yellowish house, Dolly Parton, where she's saying, "I will always love you." But up to the left-hand side is our most famous residential street, and it's open today, which is so exciting. It's also one of our most active filming locations. So let's go down Colonial Street, or as you might call it, Wisteria Lane from ABC's Desperate Housewives. But long before the Housewives were even a glimmer in some producer's eye, this street was here, and we were making movies and TV shows on it. So let me show you around this street, this neighborhood, starting on the left-hand side, all right? So look at this brown house here. This belonged to Jimmy Stewart and his Invisible Bunny friend in the film Harvey from 1950. Right next door, the purple house is 1313 Mockingbird Lane from the Munsters in the 60s. Next to that is the yellow house that was home to the Hardy Boys in the 70s, and more recently home to Davy in our show Never Have I Ever. The gray house on the end is my personal fave. This is where Dr. Dre and Eminem stood outside of a burned down house with a can full of gas and a handful of matches. Still weren't found out. The Forgot About Dre music video. Very important cultural event for my generation. Another famous music video is Smash Mouth's All-Star, Hey Now, You're an All-Star. That all filmed here. They painted the houses crazy colors for that one. And that is why you film here on this street as opposed to in a real neighborhood. You can burn down the houses, blow them up, paint them different colors. The sky's the limit. Creative control is yours as a filmmaker. You can even change up the season, which we do a lot because we make holiday movies here, but we don't get a lot of seasons in LA. So we got to create them from scratch. When it was an East Coast fall for Casper the Friendly Ghost with Christina Ricci, we had to bring out colorful leaves, staple them up to the branches. When we wanted it to be winter for Candy Cane Lane with Eddie Murphy, we have to add the fake snow to the street. We call up a business called Snow Business. It's a real company in LA because there's no business like Snow Business, right? And they bring out all the fake snow for productions, take it all away when they wrap. So we can change the look of the street over and over again, which is good, we gotta. Because otherwise people will realize that all of our characters live in the exact same neighborhood. We can't have that. All right, folks, out of the burbs we go. I gotta take you up this street. This is Steven Spielberg Drive, the street we're on right now. It's the longest street on our lot, which makes a lot of sense because we have a very long relationship with our friend Steven Spielberg.
My entire career began with my relationship with Universal Studios just as a high school kid on a
Telling for our filmmakers. They tell the audience what time period we're in, what location we are. Sometimes they'll tell you something about the character who drives the car, their personality, their financial status, but most often they're part of the plot. They're driving forward the action. Like in 1960's Psycho, when Marion Crane drives her car up a dark road in the middle of a stormy night and ends up right here at the Bates Motel. This is the motel from the sequels of Psycho, but up the hill, one of the oldest sets left standing in all of Hollywood, the original Psycho house. We're gonna go see it for ourselves right now. Originally just two walls, the front and the left side. They built the third and fourth wall for the sequels, but they only needed the first two to create this shot, right? The front and the side is all you see from the bottom of the hill. Now I know this is a very spooky set, so I'm gonna play some relaxing music to get us through this moment calmly. Breathe in, breathe out. This song is called The Murder, composed by Bernard Herrmann, who scored many of Hitchcock's most famous films. But before he was scoring movies for Hitchcock, he was conducting music for radio plays. He conducted the famous 1938 version of War of the Worlds, directed by Orson Welles, which would later inspire Steven Spielberg to make his own version of the story right here in this very spot in 2005. Welcome to the set where Tom Cruise and Dakota Fanning hide out from an alien invasion. That is a real airplane bought and destroyed for this very scene. Take a look.
An airplane crash site set is a perfect example of a set that is all designed around a vision that Steven had.
when you sit down to talk about the War of the Worlds. I thought, what if the 747 goes down right in a big neighborhood? Because it's just something you don't see.
You're doing good.
Listen, I want you to close your eyes, okay? Got them closed?
Nhìn má kịp hơn.
Robbie, get in.
Nó hướng cái trại mơ.
Get in, Robbie, we gotta go. We've only got a few minutes left in our tour, folks. Just a few minutes left. It's your final reminder to stay seated and pull the red cord if you end up needing any assistance. To be honest with you, though, I'm going to need a little assistance taking you to our next set. We're going to go to a set from another sci-fi thriller, a film called Nope, starring Keke Palmer and Daniel Kaluuya. Here to walk you through his set, Jupiter's Claim, is writer-director Academy Award winner Jordan Peele.
Movie magic only happens when a team of collaborators, often in the hundreds, work together to take an impossible notion and bring it to life. This is Jupiter's Claim, a nostalgic, small-time Southern California amusement park owned by former child star Ricky Jupe Park.
Ôi kìa, xăng rồi đó người
Over there, look into the Winking Well and have your picture taken just like the kids in that old 90s movie Kid Sheriff. That's what this whole place is loosely based on. Remember that one? No? Well, a little further down, you can see the brand new Star Lasso Experience. Built to showcase an unbelievable new live show. It's not looking so live anymore. Anyway, behind this Hollywood fantasy of a gold rush frontier town is a sinister secret. Smack dab in the center of the UFO hotspot. What's a bad miracle? Welcome to the world of no.
Anh đúng nó nghe cái anh đúng.
As we exit here, it's a great example of some of the sound effects used in the film Nope to build the anxiety, the tension in the audience. Sound effects are a really powerful way to enhance the emotional effect of a film. There's a lot of ways though, right? We use sound effects. Music is maybe the most common way to add emotion to a story. You can also use lighting, pacing, color to all influence the emotional effect. Color can be very specific because individual colors have certain psychological effects on the mind, color theory, right? So if a filmmaker uses a lot of one color in a movie, it might set a certain emotional tone for the film. You could use a lot of red to create a sense of danger, or green for an air of mystery, or blue for a little relaxation. I'm feeling kind of relaxed right now. I got a lot of blue here to the right-hand side. You see this? This is a filming location. This is Falls Lake. The big blue wall and the giant pit in front is Falls Lake. They fill up that pit with water. You can do ocean scenes or lake scenes or Hudson River scenes. That's what they did here for Sully with Tom Hanks. This all filmed right there at Falls Lake, folks. They filled up the pit with water, the plane, the people, Mr. Hanks, all really out there. But everything in the background, the cityscape, the skyline is just that big blue wall, acting as a giant green screen so that we can digitally impose whatever backdrop we want into the back of the scene, make it all take place anywhere we like. It's the job of a visual effects artist, one of the unsung heroes of our industry, and there are a lot of unsung heroes in this industry because there are so many people that work on movies and TV shows, but we always think of the same ones. We always think of the actors, the directors. We're never thinking about the lighting technicians, set builders, editors, visual effects artists, costume designers, writers, composers, makeup artists, Foley artists. There are hundreds and hundreds of people that work on every single movie. You know how I know? Because at the end, there's always a list. It's called the credits. So next time you watch a movie that you really love, that does its job really well, makes you feel something, makes you laugh, makes you cry or something, maybe, just maybe, stay to the end. Watch the credits roll and take in just how many names scroll by. Give a little nod of respect to each of those artists, artisans, and craftsmen who work so hard day in, day out for months, maybe years, to bring that story to life on your screens and entertain you for just a little while in the theater. I hope we entertained you for a little while on the tram today, folks, but it's time to get you back to the theme park so you can enjoy the rest of your time here at Universal Studios Hollywood.